Hello, MS Live. I finally got it. I finally got it where I got the YouTube and the Facebook. This is, I must be doing well today because this here is the first time I've been able to. I'm telling you, what you guys would be able better to say. This is the first time I was able to actually get onto YouTube at the same time. Normally, I get on Facebook and I go to hit YouTube and I cancel everything out and I get to restart it again, which I have a disaster. It's a disaster. Anyway, let me just share this around. It's not. You know what? I just shared it, Sherry. I just shared this in your group. It's not. Uh, it's not all MS, and I love your group because it makes people happy. The only thing we have in common in that group is that we all have MS, but it is a way to encourage and inspire everyone living with it. How do you live with a disease that is it's just now as bright as you open your eyes? It is all encompassing. It is all encompassing. And how do you live with that and yet not get distracted with it? So everybody's got, hi D, um, everybody's got something. And there's a Middle Eastern saying, it's if a camel gets his nose under a tent, under just any tent, if he just gets his little nose, he's like an octopus. He will get in the tent. So what I'm drawing the parallel is that we have to be aware of, hi Mace, we have to be aware of where the camel is getting a foothold in our tent. And what I mean is that, yeah, there's an elephant in the room, there's a camel that's got his nose, the camel that's trying to get his nose in the tent and ruin our life. It is so distracting, is that most of the people watching the show and are I'm Mace. I saw you commented on Sharia's post, and that was so sweet. I'm not doing social media at all. So, all right. So what it is back to the camel's nose, back to everybody living in some sort of pain. The lack of kindness in the world, they're all distractions. They're all they're all distractions to who we are supposed to be. Right? And if we have MS, if we have if you have cancer, if you have something that is so consuming, so just you just want to get in bed and suck your thumb. If you guys look at my very first video, uh, that it's on my YouTube channel. See, it's God's telling me to shut up. It talks about the pain I had at just the mere diagnosis of MS. I was healthy. I could walk. I could balance. Our job, hi Andrew, is to be so grateful for where we are, and right where we are, despite the misery we may have in our lives, the misery of not being able to balance, of not being able to walk on certain days, on not being able to concentrate, of just being in pain. But you know what? I there is days that I talk to. I talk to everybody, and neighbor. I've got a neighbor with Parkinson's disease, and she says before it rains, it just she is in bad shape. So she's talking about she was in such bad shape that she hadn't been out of the house. And I go to the gym, and I'm telling you what, I yesterday um, there's a gentleman, because I hand out my bookmarks. I hand them out to everyone. You know my bookmark ministry, which most of you, I sent most of you who are longtime subscribers, or especially if you're in Meerkats. If you're in Meerkats and you're watching this, um, Jesus already sent you a bookmark. Now I'm going to say that anybody who wants a bookmark. All right, there's two ways to get it. You can message me, and then I'll send you my address, and just send me a envelope, postage paid envelope with your address on it, and I'll give you 3 bookmarks. All right. So this here has been my ministry. Not mine. It's God's ministry. And you know what? It's bizarre. It's bizarre. It is bizarre that as much as MS Live has taken off, as much as MS Frontiers has taken off, with us helping each other, it's it's nothing compared to the life changing words of this ministry. This, and remember, I made these bookmarks for myself to keep me honest, because I'm a bad girl without rules. Oh my God. All right, where my sinful, you know what? It was in Acts chapter 5. Hi, Ruth. And I've got to say that Acts chapter 5 has been bothering me. And it is all right. And let me preface it, there's one unforgivable sin in the Bible. There's one unforgivable sin. So I know this is that we're talking about MS, and we will circle around to this. But the one unforgivable sin, so murder, it's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. What the heck does that mean? And researching blasphemy the Holy Spirit, you know what it is? It's when you hear the gospel, or and you don't act on it. You know it to be true, but you don't act on it. There's things that you're saving uh, uh, for yourself. It's like my free trial, my streaming videos I was getting for free. Yeah, I have to be transparent. Hi, Brendan. Oh, I love it that you're here. Brendan, I need to know more about you. All right, where do you live? What kind of MS do you have? I might have asked. I'll have to go through the archives and see that stuff. So the only thing I'm saying is that uh, we have to like weeding your garden. We have to constantly if we're practicing Christians, in order not to Lakeland, nice, nice. It's getting hot down there now, but we have to be honest, weeding our gardens, weeding our souls, because if we're not doing that, right, we're letting this camel get under his nose in the tent, right, in our soul, and it's sinking in, and all of a sudden we're deserving of it. I'm deserving of cable TV. You know, the cable company has been screwing me for years, so it's no, you know what? It's so. What I'm saying is that nobody can tell you're a bad person. Only you know, because when you look in the mirror, God sees you first. So what I'm saying is that now, fast forward, the symptom. the basic symptom of illness in our souls, right? The hypocrisy in our souls gets us to, I guess, it gets us to accept the bad things. It allows for an infection to grow. Uh, so when you go, and this is the way you know that, because if you have MS, if you have MS and you're walking around and people are coming up and hi Karen, and let you know, oh, that is fascinating, brain. I'll tell you. Um, or I will let you know that I go to the gym and there is real sick. If you have the MS, if you and you constantly work on if you're a Christian and you purify your soul, you constantly look at not being a hypocrite. And I am a hypocrite. So I'm starting to do things and people are, and my problem is I talk too much. So I tell people, well, I cut cable. I'm trying to pay for my garbage. I'm, tearing up my credit cards. I'm trying, you know, it's another. It's too much. Yes, refiners. But guess what? You purify your soul like that, and you all of a sudden you can see real sickness. God brings it. I'm telling you, just do something, and I have to pray to God. I don't know how to do it because it's so comfortable. It's so nice to sit on my couch and find a documentary. For instance, Emperor of All Maladies is on PBS, but it's archived, right? So you can't find it. You can't find it. But if you have a Fire Stick that's jailbroken, you can find it. It's right there. It searches everywhere. Somebody put it on the internet, and you can get it for free, right? It's streamlined. You should be able to get it for free. But guess what? It's the camel in the news. The camel's nose under the tent. You're watching that, then you're like, oh, I heard there's something in the movies that I wanted to see, and you can plug that in and watch something in the movie theaters on your TV. Stealing. So what I'm saying is that once we acknowledge what our hypocrisy, or once I acknowledge the hypocrisy, and it differs, my words differ than my actions. When I can align that and know where God is many but you know what, then you can see the sin. I'll tell you, I had there was another person I know who had a psychotic break because mixed medication with alcohol and went nuts. But he didn't hurt anybody, and we didn't tell anyone. We're like, oh, that's a little crazy, but Emperor, 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 Emperor of all maladies. It's the historical study of cancer. It's a four-part mini series on CBS. No, on PBS. But if you can get it, well, get it from the library. Because this is what I did. I cut out all streaming stuff except the library app, because it's called Canopy. Kanopy. Get that. That is great. All right. So I want to talk about MS and Brandon. Brandon is a 46-year-old male with relapsing remitting MS, and he had HSCT, uh, I can't say stem cell therapy. All right, I received myself back in 2019, still in this fight, although everything is stable at the moment. Oh, Brandon, I am so thankful. Because you know what? Don't you hate it when people come up to you and say, "God doesn't give you what you can't. God doesn't give you more than you can handle." You have been all right. When people say that God does not give you more than you can handle, all right. Does God give you? I'm asking you. Does God give you more than you can handle? Does life give you? God doesn't give you anything. He doesn't. But does He allow things to happen? Does God? All right. I'll answer the question. Yeah, He allows much worse things to happen. So you need Him. So you lean into Him, right? Uh, and as Gina says, refiner's fire. So and we help each other. My favorite people are the ones that convict me with hypocrisy with the Bible. I call it beating me with the Bible. I love that. I love that. It's a I don't know. All right. So Brandon says that uh, um, he's dealing with many deficits at the moment. Recently diagnosed with low low T, which yet it's getting very hot down here. Yeah, it is. And I will tell you, Brandon, low testosterone, right? Low T. Jade with us. All right. So, and Sarah. All right. Okay. So if you go to the MS Foundation, they have MS Foundation. They have a cooling program, uh, where all you have to do is request. You have to get your doctor's stuff. It's a cooling program. I did a video on that. You can get a vest, a cooling vest. So, Brandon, it is, and then a hat. I got a paper hat with, and then there's an ice pack you put in the paper hat, and it cools your head. There's a neck thing with they're little pillows. They're plastic pillows, and they have gel in them. And you put them in the refrigerator, and then you put it in the neck thing. It's great. So, do you have a cooling vest? So everybody with MS, please MS MS Foundation with that. Or when someone asks her why she has MS, Jesus, why not her? I love that. Yeah, why do you have MS? It's like, well, why do you have blue eyes? Or why do you have brown eyes? You know what? You know why you have MS? You know why we have MS? Because we are tough. God knew, and we recognize that. And the way you recognize that is anybody who's had it. I met a gentleman yesterday at trivia night, and he's had it for 20 years. In fact, I pulled up. He was in the handicap spot. Don't you hate it when people pull in the handicap? Everybody parks in the handicap spot. Um, but he opened the door and he says, "You have MS, don't you?" Let me see. Yeah. Uh, yeah, but I have brown eyes. Yeah, I've got MS, but I've got that actually what they're true hazelnut, but yes, we're strong, but we are so strong. We are so tough we're so tough that God knows that we, it's like 2 Corinthians 8 through 10. We can be better with MS as long as we put it on the back burner, right? We don't give it, we do what we're supposed to do. So healthy habits, I named some of this healthy habits. What I'm dealing with is, all right, that's good, Brandon. Low test, what I'm dealing with real quick is, my balance is gone. It's something, so I have to work on balance. I got my car back, so I'm going to be free. I'm taking off. I'm going to be like a wild stallion. I have got to go be free. I love that. I love that. So now, for you, those of you men, low testosterone, all right, low testosterone affects muscles. All right, so you end up having this atrophy of your muscles. Low testosterone, it's, you know what, I could Google it, but if you dig it to the cloud and see all of the problems with low testosterone, it is not it's really unpleasant. So what you, uh, anybody who suspects they're low testosterone, I'm telling you, you guys should get tested and possibly, get testosterone shots. Uh, so that that's good, Brandon. You have a cooling vest. But all right, so now you've lived. In fact, the first 10 years, I think I lived with MS. It was all about me, but it was also my age, right? Everything was about me. In fact, when I started the YouTube channel, it, I actually started with the idea that I have had it so long. I've researched it so long. I could teach. I have teaching experience. Uh, and I had to look at some of these videos that I have on YouTube. They're still up. I deleted some of them, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's only doing this and praying did I realize that our platform, it's if you have MS and you're here, our our platform is to love each other and help us live well with this disease. If we spend 1 hour or 2 hours a week fortifying each other, then you can spend the rest of the day, the rest of the week, no MS. You're a daughter, you're a friend. When I went over to the gym yesterday, went swimming, my balance was such that I couldn't put on. I have a wetsuit shorty. It was 75 degrees and it was sunny, and the pool temperature was 85 degrees, and guess what? I still wear a shorty because my blood temperature is 98, and anything less than that, my body wants to heat up the water. Okay, so what I'm saying is that with my balance, I've progressed to the point where just I need my scooter, not because of my ability to walk, but because of my balance. And we have to be so careful. We have to be so careful because, all right, yeah, I don't have balance. So I'm going to take my scooter to the gym. So I took my scooter to the gym. Then I try to get in the pool, and I don't have the balance to put on my shorty, and I'm trying to put my shorty. Long story longer is that people came to me and help. Can I help you? Just do it. Do it. If you see something that you think would help me, do it. Do it. So I had this one gal, Cheryl. It was her first day at the gym. She joined the gym, and she is going through. She just lost her husband 6 months ago. Oh my goodness! And she's a Christian, and how God brings you around. The pain she has is it, and her life story. It just I was listening to that, but not to move off of the topic. She came and I said, "Do what you think you should do to make my life easy. Do what you want to do." So, oh my goodness, she was down and she's rooting through my swim bag, get my earplugs, sticking them in, like swim hat. I mean, all of a sudden you became, and you know what? Yeah, I'm thinking, do I need it? She was an angel. She was, and she told me afterwards. She says, "I've been a caregiver so long. Uh, uh, yeah, I've been." She said she'd been a caregiver so long that it just brought her. Um, just I mean she cried. She says it brought some sort of meaning. It just for God to use her in that way. Isn't it awesome? Isn't it awesome? It's like, well, you know what? People say your faith's not strong enough to heal you. I don't know. Do I want to be healed and rob Sharon and those people the opportunity of me falling in public and picking me up? Oh, I get so grateful. Is it all right? Anything cooling in my is my friend the misting device. Hook it up to the garden. You know what, Jane, in Southern California and Arizona, you know that is sexy, misters in arid. In, but I'll tell you what, Jane, you can't do a mister on the East Coast from Florida on the south. You can't do it. It's too humid, right? A mister becomes an adult sprinkler. It doesn't evaporate. You know how in really dry air, right, if you have a mister, it feels like a cool breeze because it evaporates when it hits you. It's cold. It's like a cool breeze. It's wonderful. I'm telling you what, it's wonderful. What it reminds me of is remember when you were healthy, really, really healthy, and it was snowing out and you could get in jacuzzi. So sitting in a jacuzzi with snow all around you is awesome. It's the same feeling. It's the same feeling. The cool mist in arid it actually it's better because you don't have to get in this jacuzzi. You don't have to worry about getting out. And you know it doesn't break you down. So healthy habits. What in fact okay, here we go. Uh, all right. Low testosterone affects women as well. This is what Ruth is saying. Happened to me. I use the cream daily. What specifically do you do for balance? There is uh, just a ton of exercise uh, for balance. And you know there is no reason why we should be reinventing the wheel and coming up with our own uh, exercises. MS Association, MS Society. In fact, I think the best balance exercises is let me see, balance exercise. I got it right here. All right, so what I'm going to do, balance exercise, the best balance exercises, all right, is in it's mstrust.org All right. If all right, I've done videos, Ruth, on and on the YouTube channel, and I've done it. I've talked to the number one thing you're supposed to do is close your eyes, have your feet hip width apart. Well, actually, you have your eyes open, feet hip width apart. Hold on to and turn your head and look to the right and forward, right and forward, and then left and forward. This is a balancing exercise. Up and forward, up and see I'm swaying, right? And then down and forward. Well, all right, when you get good at that, close your eyes and do that. When you get good at that, right, put your feet closer together. Those are and there's a I did a video showing how to do it back when I did have balance, but our a lot of our balances, and mine is because I had lesions in my cervical spine, in the pons area of my brain, certainly. So that is the name of my pain. All right, let's see. All right. You're so sweet. All right, so Ruth said women are affected, hormonal imbalance. Women are affected too. So she has a cream with that gives her a little testosterone. Um, and it's a simple blood test. It's a simple blood test. Uh, let's see. All right. All right. So let me go back to you. All right, Brandon. Do you have they use chemo to knock your system out, Brandon? All right. Yeah. And Brandon's talking about his stem cell therapy. He was on the Beam protocol, full uh, myobladov chemotherapy, where they kill all of uh, um, your bone marrow, and then they introduce new stuff. So, and the process took them 2.5 to 3 months. Let's see. You know what? And Sarah, hi, Nubbly. So Sarah is saying, you know what, Sarah, I love that. If we could handle every single thing on our own, it's human nature to forget God. That's true. And so much in our society, we want the government to take the place of God. I mean, aren't we like little babies? We cry. I want. You know what? I sit there on the couch and I think, oh, I don't want to get up and get some water. And I look at my husband who's walking around like an Olympian, right? And it's so easy to say, "Hi, Dee." Yeah, and it's so easy to say, you know what? Can you get me water? But not saying it, getting up and getting it myself is it's got, just because you can. Should you? Just, I don't know. All right. So I we have to allow God to work through us, and we have to give thanks for all things good in our life and all things bad in our life, because every time we have something bad happen in our life, you can only grow through loss, right? You need, yeah, when we are dropped to our knees with helplessness, do we look? We're, you know, I, you stop requiring your family to understand what your disease is in order to feel loved. I remember the MS Society. I guess you'd go to festivals and there was an MS booth, and you can go up and put on shoes and goggles and gloves to find out what it feels like to have MS. Well, oh, goodness. So somebody was telling me at a neighbor's barbecue, they said, yeah, they had a booth like that for senior citizens. What is it like to feel peripheral neuropathy when you have diabetes? They're, they're sharing that they tried all this stuff. I said, oh my goodness. When you truly love someone, you you love them more, almost more than it's supernaturally. You love them more. You don't require them to love you as much uh, because disappointments are unfulfilled expectations. What we have to do is yeah, what I said is I couldn't dream of anyone. I didn't want any of my loved ones or friends or do not, you don't want to know what it feels like. Don't- I don't want you to know that because they might think differently of, oh my gosh, you deal with that? No. Yeah, nah. Yeah, when people come up and they say, how are you doing? Actually, it's a placeholder for them to tell you how they are doing. It's just, it's awesome. It is awesome. And Gina wanted to know, Brandon, did your insurance company pay for this? Because actually, because uh, I, I know that they were doing a study program. Jane, yes, Jane's excited that Dee Dee's here. Uh, Gina, and I'm excited that you're all here. So we're talking about healthy priorities, and I'll tell you, it was Karen who sent me. You guys sent me. Let me see. Karen, or what did Karen do? Karen, what did she do? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Smoke and the no. You know what? Ruth, that's a good question. Ruth just asked me, do I ever feel like I'm a burden? And believe me, I am. I'm a hot mess. If you're watching this, this is 1984. They traced my symptoms back. 1984, and you know the reason why I'm a burden to my husband. He's the only and he will say no, she's not a burden because she's too independent. But you know what? It is. Do I feel like a burden? No, because you know what? I used to feel like I was a burden. I used to, when we think that we're a burden, we are now. It's the camel nose under the tent. It's a sinful nature. We're thinking more of ourselves than we deserve. If we're being honest with ourselves, when we are purging ourselves from laziness, if this is what I do. If I am honest with myself, if I ask questions instead of being a wall of sound, if clarifying questions and I allow people to help me, just then I'm not a burden. I was out front 2 days ago is weeding, and it got up to it actually 69, and the sun was on me. I was wearing a black shirt, and I was sitting on the sun in the sun. I got overheated, but I didn't know. You know, those of us with MS for a long time, we don't know when we get overheated. So we're sitting there and we're like waiting and life's good and all of a sudden we're overheated. You know the danger of getting overheating? Your body doesn't work. It's like no longer can I stand up because my legs were so weak. It was so. What did I think? I had no balance. I could barely see, and I didn't notice that. Right? I didn't notice. So I was on my ramp in my house, and what I did is I tried to push myself into the house. Right? And my neighbor, and I tried to call my husband on my cell phone, which I hang on a lanyard around my neck, but he didn't come out. He didn't have his phone on him. So my neighbor was doing yard work, and and we started small talking. I had water, but it didn't. It was beyond water. It was ice water over the head type thing. So my neighbor comes over. I asked him to bring my walker around on the ramp, so he did, and then he helped me up. Well, here's the problem. My husband walks out right when Chuck's helped me out, and the guy thinks Chuck slams him. Chuck's like, see, I help your wife more than you do. And you know what I did, sinful? I didn't say anything. I didn't. I was just grateful for Chuck. Uh, uh, and you can't help but just like, darn it, darn it, you know, because love is all around us. We just have to be willing to take it from where God will give it. Yeah, I got off. I didn't die. I didn't lay on the porch or on the hot wooden deck. In fact, my hands couldn't touch the surface to stand up. That's when I knew I was in borderline trouble. But again, it was he. Where I went wrong is that when Brian came out and Chuck started slamming him for not being a great husband. My sweet husband needed me to defend him. You know, I should have said I was bad. Uh, all right, all right. Let's see. Jade missing devices. Uh, all right, so Jade's talking about missing devices. Uh, uh, the apple cider vinegar I love, and they're talking about losing your hair, and you gotta ask. I'll tell you what, we women start losing our hair. In fact, the male, see right here, it's an age thing. It's an age. See, I'm losing my hair here, and it's an age thing. All right, I showed you. All right, there. Because this is all smoke and mirrors. I'm the only thing really genuine is the love I have for everybody who is here. Must no, unfortunately, Mrs. Close. You know what? No, no, no. You know what? You are a burden to people with your disease. That is that is like Satan trying to get you to feel inadequate. If God made us all perfect in our affirmities, if we are perfect, the high tip, the only problem that burden when we allow ourselves to think so much of ourselves, that we actually consider ourselves to be a burden, we're focusing too much on us and not on the person trying to make it better. So the minute you look over at your husband, he's driving you around, reach behind his head and massage his head, or pat him and just tell him how great, how much you appreciate him. And just be thankful. If you do that, you realize uh, it's an opportunity for him to be an angel. When I married Brian, and he's my second husband, 20 years, married me. I told them on our first date, don't, I've got MS. So he married. So when we decided to get married, I talked to his mom and I said, I am so sorry. Your son fell in love with me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Because he's better than me. I wouldn't marry somebody. I wouldn't. I would marry someone with MS. And the reason why is because it's got to be a small part of my life. Uh, I love each one of you. I'm here for you. And you have my cell phone numbers. And occasionally I get texts, and I love that. But to be honest with you, I, Dee Dee, what color? All right, I'm sorry, smoking mirrors. And that is a camel in the nose. You talk. All right, because I can talk beauty or smoke and mirrors all day, right? Dee Dee dyed her hair. Hi, Marianne. Dee Dee dyed her hair. What color did you dye your hair? You see, I just get the stripes because the stripes blend in with my with grayness. All right, so here we go. Ruth been married for 50 years does not change how I feel. I was independent last time. What? You know what? But yeah, I'll tell you what, Ruth. I'll tell you, I have officially can tell you I've outlived the usefulness of my body. I I I have outlived because I can't stay. I can't stand. I can't walk without either Marianne, Cincinnati. That is great. Uh, um, Marianne. Oh, by the way, for any of you guys that are watching me on Facebook right now or watching MS Live on Facebook, this year is a ministry uh, um, that it's a ministry that everybody helps each other. Everybody. What is TBLF? So I'm just the host. I'm the shiny object that you don't know what I'm gonna wear or. But I promise you, every Tuesdays and Thursdays, as long as God, because it's God's ministry. So God, these are your people. Make me an instrument of thy peace. And do me a favor, text me or email me or message me, and I will send you one of these. I'm not going to send you. I'm going to email you one of these bookmarks. There's two ways to look at everything, right? Do you see a witch or do you see a young woman? And realizing that we're not a burden, we're all part of this process. We're of kindness. We and when you start going at you ever been in a public place and you see a young couple all of a sudden fighting and screaming at each other, right? And the reason why I discovered women tend to do that is because they want help. They want help. It's they want help. It's like the kindness of other people because this guy's being so mean to me. I need so they but uh yeah, it just, so what it is, Ruth, it it's repetition. It's repetition. It's doing the opposite of your knee jerk reaction. I'll tell you, I needed to cut my toenails. So I was in the living room and I couldn't find the one toenail clipper that I could use with my limited ataxia. Just and I'm sitting there. You know what? My first reaction is, because it wasn't there. I was like, damn, Brian took it and he moved it because they're really handy. My first reaction is to blame because it's not in the drawer. It should be in the drawer, right? So I dumped out the drawer, and guess what? It was there. It was there. It was there. But that didn't discount the fact that I had a stinking thought towards him. Why? Why? And I sat there, I analyzed it. Why is my knee jerk desire to blame? And it just, so, and to blame myself, when you feel like a burden, you're blaming yourself for somebody else's discomfort. But are you that sure? Are you sure they're they're that uncomfortable helping you, or is it does it like Brian's mom said? She reached over to me when I said, "I'm so sorry your son fell in love with someone with the MS." She reached over to me and put her hand on my leg and she says, "Dulcie, you make him a better person. You make him the man he needs to be." What is that? I was like, whatever. But I've matured. I've matured because I needed to boil. And hi, Warren. I need to boil a little bit in the pot. What that is, Warren. I love your videos. I love your videos. Right? You Yeah, blaming others. Oh, I like it. Gina says blaming others is one of the stages of grieving or denial. Oh, what? But your burdens are other people's opportunity to be blessing. All right. If we don't think so much, you know what I read a while ago, years ago, that shy people are actually they're um, insecure, and they're insecure, and they're this. I read this. I don't want to paraphrase this wrong, but shy people are actually in their insecurity. They are more bold, more set in their ways than gregarious people. And the reason why is that shy people don't want to put themselves at risk of being hurt, so they don't want to say anything. And in a way, it's good. It's good because what does God say when I walk out? I hear God's voice all the time. And what do I hear? Number one thing I hear, one number one is ask questions. Shut up and ask questions. Shut up. It's amazing. When I go to the gym, uh, every time I go to the gym with somebody, in fact, because I'll go with people who do not believe or don't. It just when I go, I'm part of. Thank you, Ruth. I'm part of the world. So if I go with somebody, uh, I become a butterfly, especially if they're not saved, right? If they're not struggling with life or with the relationship with Christ, and somebody comes up to me and they start talking, they start revealing things to me. Because why? Because I'm a visible, right? And so visible people, hi Betty Joe, people like us that are obviously afflicted are wonderful, wonderful people for people who are hurting inside, invisibles, right? Invisible, like we felt when we had MS early on. We knew we were tired. We knew something's wrong. No, something's wrong, right? Parking in the handicap spot early on when you could walk because we knew something's wrong. We knew something's wrong. But all of a sudden, now fast forward where you're visible and misery doesn't love company. Every time when people come up to me and they say, "How you doing?" I'm like, "How are you?" I don't want to talk about me because it may remind me that it sucks. So I want to know about you. I want to know about you. Thank you, Maisie. Give me a time check. Uh, Thank you, Ruth, for the compliment on the blouse. And I'll go to the gym. In fact, I started thinking, I'm always cold, and today's only supposed to be 69. I'm either cold or I'm too hot, right? I'm either cold or too hot. So why not wear something to the gym? Why not wear heels? If you're not going to walk anyway, why not wear heels to the gym? You're sitting. I don't know. I mean, when you look at how crazy, just when you look at you start looking at how crazy the world is, and how no one. I talked to this woman. Oh my gosh! I talked to another, a head and neck cancer doctor. He just came from surgery, and apparently I've known him for years. The sweetest guy in the world, and I gave him free bookmarkers, and now he wants to talk. He wants to talk to me because he thinks, or he appears to think, that that I change his life, or I'm and it's not me. It's not me. I'm just part of, you know what? And it's the same thing with you, Ruth. It's not you with this disease. What's happening to us with this debilitating disease is not our fault. So do not claim that it's your fault. It's not your fault. Every time you drop something, it is not your fault. It's not a character. It's not a character failure of you to have MS. Therefore, do not allow the devil in your ear to say you're a burden. You're only a burden if it's intentional, right? I'm a burden on everyone because I intentionally uh, ate until I had diabetes. I'm big. I can't work out. You know what? You're only a burden if you choose to get an illness. You are not, if you do not claim, if God made us each perfect with the disease, right, then allowing other people to come, allowing the real people with serious pain to help us with our visible pain, help pick us up. It allows them to be angels. It allows them to be good. It may be the one act of kindness that they can do. And when I sit there and I pray, because whenever anybody does that, I say, "Can I pray for you right now?" And I hold their hands, and I get various reactions. I do, and that's fun. Because, but then we're part of the solution. People say to me, "Do you need help?" I'm like, if God's telling you to help me, you help me. Thank you. Um, but let's see. I wouldn't live in Wisconsin. In fact, I wouldn't do that. Anyway, so I'll start calling my, Ruth, if you get nothing else, it is not your fault. Yes, I love it. Ruth says she realizes that it's not her fault. It does not change her thought process. Guess I'll start calling. And you know what? Call your husband. Call people who help you. Um, Good things. Allow them to be. Allow. Start seeing the kindness, and don't make it about you. Just appreciate. And you know what, Ruth? You know what, everyone? Uh, um, is it's a process of looking at the positive, looking at the pretty young woman with the black hat and the choker, right? Looking at that, only seeing the beauty in life takes practice. For me, it took. I can't watch TV. I can't watch cable or regular television. I will only watch documentaries and stuff on the library. So it's what you expose yourself, and you start acting the way you want to be. Uh, uh, it's true. You know what, Ruth said? You start acting the way you want to be. You're weeding your garden and you're planting good nutrients in the soil, and you will slowly become the person. And I look at Rhonda. There's my best friend in California. She I just want to be the person she thinks. I don't. There is nobody that thinks I'm a greater person than Ron. I could shave her head and she'd say, I've got the greatest haircut Dulci did. So my point is that, to be the person that others see me being. Anyway, Brandon says Matthew 18:20. And my email is Dulci Jean DulciJean @gmail.com. My cell number is 443-910-3988. You're welcome to text me if you want a copy of the bookmark. Um, and then I'll send you that picture and you can print it out and cut it at the front and the back. But anyway, and if you want to make it your ministry, let me know. Anyway, Mace has one last thing. Ruth says, it all depends. Our attitude depends on what uh, what animal we feed. What wolf we feed? Do we feed? I'd say, do we feed wolf or the sheep? Right? Feed my sheep, right? As what Jesus said. If we're part of the process and we encourage good behavior, turn our back from anything wolf like, anything that it gets the camel's nose underneath that tent, we may become the people we fear, right? But if we sow the seeds of kindness, of faith, and of goodness, then we become the people that people look up to. And what do we do? The more somebody looks up to us, the more we have to be humble. The more we're like it. It's a wonderful experiment. Anyway, I love you all. Let me pray us out. I've gone over, but all right. So I will see you in 2 days. Uh, I will see. That's right. Marianne wrote a book. She wrote a book, all right, about her story. All right, so let me see. It's in Barnes and Noble. It's God and I Fighting the Devil, uh, by Mary Liccardo in Cincinnati. It's also on Amazon, right? It's on Amazon. Uh, so anyway, it's neat when people write books. So it's her story about walking with God, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Dear Heavenly Father, I just lift everybody up to you. Help us to be who you want us to be and not what the earth wants us to be. Help us to acknowledge that we are not burdens, but just instruments of peace, Lord. The MS is not our fault. The pain and suffering and the loss and everything that everyone feels it's not anyone's fault. Help us to use our afflictions, use everything to promote love and peace. Just help us to encourage each other so that we can live life on mission and not live life focus in about how badly life is with advancing MS. We just uh, it's hard, Lord. Lift up that burden from us and keep everyone safe until we come together. We come together in 2 days, right on Thursday. Love you all, and we'll talk. We will talk in 2 days. All right. Happy Tuesday. I'll talk to you soon.